So whenever you're given a quadratic equation, they can ask you how many solutions does this quadratic equation have? Like they are not asking you to find the value of x or y, but they're just asking you how many solutions does it have? All right, so this is when we use the formula, and I'm going to get into it briefly. So it's given as d, which is our discriminant, is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So whenever you're given a quadratic equation, you have to be able to tell what is a, what is b, what is c. So if the discriminant d is greater than 0, yeah, that means the quadratic equation has two solutions, right? If the discriminant d is equal to 0, that means that quadratic equation has one solution. And if the discriminant d, the value you get, is less than 0, that means that quadratic equation has no solutions or 0 solutions. What does that mean? So if you're given this equation here, let me call this equation 1. That means my a is always the coefficient of x squared. So my a is 2, my b is -4, and my c is -3. So I'll get d, and this is b squared minus 4ac. So b squared is 16. -4 times -4 gives me 16, minus 4 times 2 times -3. Even before working out what this gives you, it's going to give you a value greater than 0. So we're getting a discriminant d greater than 0. So remember, the whole thing here is not getting the value of d, is finding out if the value of d is greater than 0. And here, we know that this is going to be two solutions. However, you can continue and work it out and see what you get. The value of is 40. And since d is greater than 0, this has two solutions, right? Let's look at another example. What if we have this? So here we know to get the discriminant d has to be equal to b squared minus 4ac. From this equation, a is 1, b is 5, and c is 4. Now, that means my discriminant d will be equal to b squared, which is 25, minus 4 times 4, which is 16. So that gives me 9. And I'm saying my discriminant being 9, 9 is greater than 0. If you get the discriminant as 0, that means it has one solution. If it's less than 0, maybe you get d as -4. That means this quadratic equation has no solutions. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.